Hello everyone, I'm Aditya Shenoy and I've spent the past decade in the digital publishing industry. And today I'm going to show you how to set up staging on your WordPress website. Now when you think of staging, it will come across as a new word. So I'm going to explain what staging really does and why is it beneficial for your WordPress website. So say for example, you want to change your theme. The natural process would be to you'd go ahead and do it on a live site. Now that isn't recommended because what will happen is you'll have live visitors coming into your website and seeing everything changing as they go ahead refreshing their page over a couple of days or say even a couple of minutes. A staging website, what it does is WordPress allows you to create a different environment where you can try out every permutation combination that you would want to do on your live site or your production site, as they say. So that way, when you set up a staging, you can go ahead, change the theme. You can customize the theme to look at for it to look the way you want it to. You can add custom plugins on the staging instance as well. And then when you're satisfied with how the staging website looks, you can then go ahead and move it to production. Now earlier, moving it to production wasn't really possible. It was a process where you would have to go ahead and replicate everything, but now it's fairly simple and it just requires like one click to do it. So I'm going to show you how hosting would work. Now it's a free instance of WordPress, and as you can see, most of the options are grayed out. Like you don't really have an option to say set up staging or make any changes for that matter. So I'm going to switch to a different website of mine that has a WordPress business plan. And as you can see, this is the same page. A lot of options are now available. So you need to head to settings and then head to hosting configuration. So this way you have the option to set up a staging site. Now as it says, staging site. A staging site is a test version of your website you can use to preview and troubleshoot changes before applying them to your production site. So look at it as a playground where you can make multiple changes and not affect your primary website. You don't affect your traffic, you do not affect your SEO rankings. It's win-win. So you can figure out the formula that you would want on staging, and when you think you've perfected it, you can move it. So I'm going to click on set up staging site. As you can see, WordPress does it on its own. So what it essentially does is on your server basically takes a smaller space and sets up another instance of WordPress itself. Now this will also eat up on when it comes to your bandwidth. So say if you have 50 GB of internal storage, this will utilize some more of it because you will be creating another instance. So think about it creating like a different website in itself. WordPress is currently installing. It's a fairly simple process. One click for us. You can also go ahead and do anything else that you would want to do. It's not required for you to be on the staging page. So I'm just going to move around in general, hosting configuration, and I think yes. So the staging site is done. I'm going to go manage staging site. So currently, when you click manage staging site, what it does is it loads the WordPress instance for your staging site. This way you can make all the changes. Now you need to ensure that you click on manage staging site and you'll see this black and yellow bar appear. Kind of shows that it's in effect. You can, if you want to say bring in your production to staging. So when I say that, so for example, I'll just go ahead and view the staging site, right? We have the URL for it. If you were to visit your staging site, as you can see, this is copied everything from production for me. So now that the staging site is set up, we can quickly check what a different theme would look like. So I'll go to appearance themes. I've already installed one of the themes that I would want to try out on my website. Let's say I go ahead and activate this. Now this is what the current staging looks like. Let's just quickly refresh it. So now that it's done, quickly hit on customize site and go ahead. Customize is loading. So as you can see, this is the new theme and this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to show you an instance of my staging website. So quickly go back, go to staging, hit visit site, and this is what my staging now looks like. In contrary, I'm going to go quickly to my website. So this is what the live website currently looks like, and this is my staging. So as you can see, I can customize the way the staging looks. I can play around, figure out how I want the new theme to be set up, the plugins to be added, and all the other customizations to be done while my production site or my live site is as is, so it can still serve my audiences. So it allows me to safely go ahead and change everything that I want to change about, say for example, if you are upgrading your website, if you want to go ahead with a new look, a new theme, you can do that on staging first, iron out all the kinks, and then when you think it's perfect, you can just go ahead and finalize it. I'll also just show that to you. I'm not going to apply that, but say for example, if you like the way the theme is set, you like the plugins, you've tested it, you've found no errors there, and you'd want to take it to production, here is what you can do. You can head to settings, host configuration, scroll down. At this point, you can switch back to your production site, and you have the option to choose synchronization. Now what it does is it pulls changes from your staging site into production, or it basically, if you're not happy with what your staging is like and you want to again pull back what your production site is, you can do that. Now say I'll choose scenario 1 where you've set up everything on your staging website and now you want it to make it to your live website. You can simply choose staging into production. So what it does is it will allow you to basically make your staging website, or rather your production website, to look like your staging. You have multiple options that you can synchronize, plugins, themes. I would recommend you to have all of these enabled, because if you've tested it out on staging with certain plugins, it makes sense to migrate them and then you can make those changes. Now site database is something you should not enable. So what happens is, if I were to say enable site database, any posts or pages or products, anything that you have in production will be overwritten, which means that your content in the production site will get overwritten. It only makes sense if you have a fresh staging website which has a completely different page setup, completely new content that you want to make live without having any trace of your older content. It's only then you can enable this, and I would want you to think multiple times before you enable this, because once it's overwritten, it's very, very hard to get it back unless you have like an offline backup. But once it's done, it's a fairly simple process now. You can simply click the direction that you would want to. The second instance is when you've made a couple of changes to staging and you're not happy with it and you want to start over, then that is when you can do production to staging. So that way your live website is copied back to staging and you can synchronize it. Pretty much straightforward to do. If you have any doubts, do put them down and I'll help you out with them.